WSU has agreed on a finalist for the next university president. What we can tell you about candidate B.
And an update on when local firefighters are going to return home, what the timeline looks like for them, and more coming up on Murrow News 8.
From the Northwest Public Broadcasting Studios on the campus of Washington State University, this is Murrow News 8.
Welcome to Murrow News 8. I'm Bailey Peffer.
And I'm Josiah Pike.
Washington State University Regents have agreed to the finalist for the next university president. Last April, President Kirk Schultz announced his retirement for June 2025 after hundreds of faculty and 3 former provosts called for a leadership change. On January 24th, the board settled on candidate B out of the 3 remaining finalists. The name for the next president has not been released.
The Washington State Division I Court of Appeals ruled that WSU is liable in the death of Sam Martinez. Martinez died in 2019 from alcohol poisoning due to a hazing incident. Martinez's parents sued WSU after his death, but a judge ruled in 2022 that the university had no special relationship that would create a duty owed by WSU to Martinez. Martinez's parents appealed the decision, which has now been reversed. The case now moves back to Superior Court for further proceedings.
AED devices have been installed in WSU resident halls. The defibrillators are located on the main lobby of central areas of the resident halls that have 2 buildings. According to the Daily Evergreen, Assistant Director of Housing Operations, Griffin Hogan, says a lack of training should not deter from using the life-saving devices. All resident advisors are trained in first aid, but the training is not required for residents.
The last of the Idaho firefighters who traveled to help fight the Los Angeles fires started their travels home on Sunday and are expected to be home Tuesday night. Billy Monahan, Kamiah Fire Chief, told Moscow Pullman Daily News that they are very excited to get homes to their families, but many will cherish this assignment.
A groundbreaking new development of Schweitzer Engineering Laboratories will step into the medical field. Scientists focus to produce a medical device designed for autism detection. Dr. Jajora Lynch developed the prototype at Washington State University. The handheld device can detect signs of autism spectrum disorder in youth as young as 24 months by measuring pupil light reflex. The innovation is SEL's first venture into the medical device manufacturing. Josiah, did you see a bunch of high schoolers carrying around cases on campus today?
I did, Bailey. We'll explain why after the break.
One in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, the boss's boss. If 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, that means it could be you, your barber, your barber's barber.
Nice work. Thanks.
You, your plumber.
Breathe right into your foot.
Your plumber's masseuse.
Yes.
You, your dog walker.
On your left.
Your cat jogger. Or you, your co-pilot. Your co-pilot's co-pilot. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org to know where you stand.
President Donald Trump has decided to pause the imposition of tariffs on Colombian imports after reaching an agreement with Colombia regarding the acceptance of deported migrants. The Washington House announced that the certain measures like visa restrictions will remain in place until the first deportation flight is successfully completed.
The Washington State University of Music is inviting high school students and their guardians to its Spring 2025 Music Major for a Day open house today. The event is open all day to all students considering a degree in the College of Music. The event is at the Murrow Music Building and attendance is free of charge.
On the topic of music, tonight is the Murrow Concert Hall. You can listen to annual performance honoring the legacy of the late Bill Bollock at the SEWMEA Bill Bollock Jazz Night. Bollock was the student of Pullman High School class of '63, as well as a local high school teacher, jazz teacher. From 6:30 to 9 p.m., you can listen to several high school jazz bands from around the area to perform.
A WSU project manager says that there's a safety issue on Stadium Way and that construction crews will have to go back. Our reporter Cooper Morgan takes a look at the crosswalks to find out what got the manager saying we're looking for solutions.
This is Drew Lockmiller, and he's happy with the changes they've been making to walkability on campus.
This is way nicer because it's just like a straight shot to my building.
Lockmiller walks most days to Southside to get to his chemical engineering building, often using the newly added crosswalk. But he's been noticing that some pedestrians don't follow one of these new changes.
Oh, all the time. Walking to class because I go to Spark after this class Tuesday, Thursdays. See people cross all the time.
Construction crews removed this crosswalk last fall, but that hasn't stopped people from using it, or simply sprinting through it, like this guy.
We've had a lot of near misses there.
Cindy Arbor, the project manager for facility services, who worked on managing the installation of new lights and crosswalk markings this past fall, says she's continued to deal with this problem.
But we left the island open, and so everyone keeps wanting to cross there. So we're exploring solutions.
Maybe that guy wasn't too worried, but Arbor says that people should be, which is why facility services put this big concrete block and these yellow reflectors, because before it was extremely dangerous, as the crosswalk was actually a blind spot for drivers. As seen behind me, the bus kind of blocks that view for drivers and prevents them from seeing, causing a big safety issue. She also says that construction crews will have to revisit the area to wire up some of the newly installed lights, as they're being used so much, their solar power generation can't actually keep up in the shadowy areas. Arbor says that while safety is improving, it's not safe if you don't follow the new signage. Reporting from Pullman, Cooper Morgan, Murrow News 8.
Well, it sure was cold this morning. Nick, what's the forecast looking like for the rest of the day and the week?
Thanks, Josiah. Yeah, so for today, it was a high of 38 with a low of 18. It's been super nice out. The sun's shining, very little winds, but it's been super nice today. And now kind of looking at tomorrow, we have a high of 37, a low of 17. Very similar weather as today, but sort of getting a little warmer heading into the week. Or I guess we're going to take a look at our state map instead. On the east side of Washington, right, we have a lot of low temperatures and freezing fogs at night. So be on the lookout if you're getting up early or driving home late at night. Be aware for those freezing fogs tonight. On the west side, we have pretty mid temperatures, right, in the mid 40s and low 20s. And we're going to look ahead at the rest of the week. So right, today, Tuesday, 39, high of 39, low of 25. Wednesday is going to be a low in the low 30s. And then be on the lookout this weekend, Thursday and Friday, for those mid 40s to low 20s with some chance of snow. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Nick. Coming up, we'll recap an eventful weekend in Cougar athletics.
Yeah, and be sure to grab a Sharpie because we'll tell you when to mark your calendars for the next 3 football Apple Cups.
It feels like no matter where you look, the state of the world's getting worse. Oceans full of plastic, an endless amount of waste, an impossible task ahead of fixing our beloved planet. But change can't happen if you do nothing. So here's where you should start. Reduce. Why? Because Americans produce more than 200 million tons of waste every year, and you don't want to add to that. Reuse. Why? Because reusing and repurposing cuts back on unnecessary waste, and it gives things a chance at new life. Recycle. Why? Because recycling creates jobs. It helps our community and it helps our planet. And after doing all this, what will we be left with? We'll be left with a planet that will slowly start to heal. We'll be left with more money in our pockets. We'll be left with more opportunity for work. And most importantly, we're left with hope for the future. So reduce, reuse, recycle.
The Cougs tennis team's 5-match win streak was snapped Sunday on the road against Nebraska, 5-2. Nebraska started off hot, winning 2 doubles matches right off the bat. The Cougs' Ava Alvarez-Sanda and Maxine Murphy won their match 5-4. The Cougs will be back home at Hollenberry Fieldhouse as they are set to take on BYU this Friday at noon. The Cougs women's team looks to get in the win column tonight in Corvallis as they take on the Oregon State Beavers at 7 p.m. The Cougs are coming off a 79-76 loss to Loyola Marymount on Saturday. The Cougs were in a close matchup all game. LMU was led by guard Nadia Evans, who had a game-high 37 points. Cammie Etheridge had this to say after the game.
You know, I liked a lot of things we did, just aren't good enough defensively. They just pounded our chests and went through us. They lived at the free throw line. Again, this was a defensive thing, not an offensive thing. So just life on the road, hard to get wins.
The Cougs will look to lean on Candace Pettigrew as she was awarded WCC Freshman Player of the Week. The Cougs are going to look to be more physical tonight against the Beavs. WSU men's basketball lost to St. Mary's 75-80 on Saturday night in Beasley Coliseum, suffering just their second home loss of the season. The Cougars led for nearly the entire game, but the Gills went on an 11-2 run late in the second half to take the lead and hold off a late Cougar comeback. WSU now sits at 15-7 on the season and will travel to Stockton, California for a rematch with Pacific Thursday at 7 p.m. Washington State's 2026 and 2027 football schedules have begun to take shape following an agreement on an at-home, home series with former Pac-12 foe, the University of Arizona. According to a release last Friday, the games will be played on September 26, 2026 in Pullman and September 25th, 2027 in Tucson. WSU also announced two future Apple Cup dates, September 5th, 2026 at Husky Stadium in Seattle and September 18th, 2027 in Pullman. The Cougs now have 4 games scheduled each on its 2026 and 2027 schedules, including games against Kansas, Kansas State, and Duquesne. And Super Bowl 59 is set as the NFL Divisional Championship games wrapped up yesterday. The Commanders got blown out 55-23 by the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. As for the AFC Championship game, the Chiefs barely edged out the Bills 32-29. A rematch from 2 years ago is in order as the Kansas City Chiefs will take on the Philadelphia Eagles in New Orleans.
Who needs a reason to eat cake, right? We'll give you the reason coming up next.
Days, months,
Hey, I'm Jim from across the street.
years,
I'd like to give you this.
a lifetime can rush by without realizing what we're missing. We lose some of the best moments, some that may never repeat,
Come on.
or detach from people around us. Our loved ones grow used to this pattern, but it doesn't have to be that way. We have a choice to take action. It's never too late to live a full life again. Hear how many of us Vietnam veterans have managed our mental health and reconnected with our families. Visit maketheconnection.net to find out more.
For all you dessert lovers, today is your day because it's National Chocolate Cake Day. I don't know about you guys, but I love chocolate cake.
Me as
What about
well.
you guys? You do?
Can't go wrong.
Yeah, no, I'm making some when I get back. I don't got anything else to do.
Oh my gosh, right? Are you okay? Are you guys excited for Super Bowl weekend?
Huge.
Definitely.
I'm super excited for Super Bowl. Maybe we'll have
Right?
some chocolate cake there.
I think that's
Yeah,
a great
there you go.
idea.
Exactly.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching Murrow News 8. We'll keep you up for more updates and visit our website at nwpb.org.